Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are taking a look at something that's a little bit unusual. This is a prototype, pre-production figure from Street Humans. That's the line that Shartimus Prime is either launching or has launched the Kickstarter for, depending on when this video goes live. And I'll show you the info for that momentarily. But he asked me if I would review the prototype. And I said, I don't want to review a prototype because, well, for a variety of reasons, I didn't go into all the details there, but I will here, just so that you guys are aware of the situation. It's not fair to you guys, for me to review something that's pre-production, because it can still change. Obviously, there are metal pins and all kinds, like it's not done yet, so for me to review it, it's not going to be the same thing that you get when you actually buy the figure. So I'm not going to do an actual review for that reason. And also, it is just a prototype, so just flat on its face, for me to review it, it would be kind of, I don't want to do that because, everything's loose, it's not finished, there's just no point in that sense. But I am going to preview it. I'm going to go over everything I have here to show you so that you can see what he has so far, and then that way you can participate in the Kickstarter if you so choose, with at least as much information as is possible at this time. And so before we get into that, I will just say I do think the more indie companies out there, the better. The more successful Kickstarters, the better. The more competition for Hasbro and everyone else for that matter, the better. Competition never, ever hurts the consumer. Ever. And it always helps the industry because it is more geared toward the consumer. So here's to all the success for all the indie people out there. That would be great. And hopefully someday I'll get my stuff together. I almost swore I'll get my stuff together and I will be included in that group. Okay, so let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, before we get into it, I'll show you this. I trust that this is not some kind of scam or something like that. You click on that and it's like nude pics of him or something. I doubt it. But you can do that if you need to do that. Scan that. There's all the info there. All right, streethumans.net and all the other things. There's some photos. I think if you're following him, you've probably seen those photos before. I have. And then there's some other stuff right there on the front coming soon. Okay, let's start. Let's dive into it. Like I said, it's not going to be like a full-on, this is everything that's wrong with it and how they can fix it sort of deal. It's just I'm going to be showing you exactly what's here, and you can decide for yourself what you want to do with that. I'll do a quick height comparison. I think if I know him at all, and if I've listened to him at all, and I could be wrong about this, I think mostly this line is meant to be paired with a line like Marvel Legends, so I'm guessing scaling is pretty close. There you go, he's a little bit taller, definitely a different sort of physique. I was thinking these are going to be closer in line with Marvel Legends, but they definitely seem, if anything, closer to like the Classified series. Slightly more realistic and detailed rather than obviously the kitty toy Marvel Legends. Alright, so how should we do this? First, I guess since we normally do aesthetics, we'll do that first. We'll go through the aesthetics. Like I said, not full on reviewing it, but showing everything to you as best I can. That's the face that comes on him as it was presented to me. Definitely going for a more realistic look than we see in a lot of lines, but that's going to come down to paint mostly, I think. So we'll see, obviously. He did send me an alternate head. This is obviously very prototype stage, so he showed me I can pop the head off if I want to, but I don't want to pop the head off. They do interchange and they do fit nicely, but I don't want to risk doing it any more than is necessary, because if I break this, that's not good. But I don't want to risk breaking it. So there's another head sculpt. Teeth showing. Lots of detail in there. Okay. That would be that's the portrait. Let's look at the clothing details. Got the probably you can't call it this anymore, but it's a wife beater tank top thing going on. There is texturing throughout. What it looks like. Okay, down onto the pants. We'll start on the rear. Mostly I'm just showing it to you because things are going to change. And he actually gave me a small list of things that he plans to change, or at least work on or look at or something like that. I'll show you that, tell you that in a second. But for now, I'm just showing you. We will go through the articulation and everything as best as I can at this stage. Alright. Alright, so that's for all the attire. As far as the body sculpt, maybe I can put the arm out like this. Not sure who sculpted this. I'm getting some vibes of some people I've seen sculpt work from, but I don't know for sure. I don't know if he has released that information publicly. I haven't heard. But there you go. Let's look at the hand. Okay, the hand came off. He does have interchangeable hands. We'll get to that. So butterfly joint. Right now we're just doing the aesthetic. I'll show you the actual range in a little bit. And a little bit in the neck. I don't think I really showed you that, but you probably saw it. Okay, so that's the aesthetic rundown as best as I can show you. Okay, now we can go ahead and talk about the accessories. You already saw an alternate head. I don't know if this is like the final allotment. I'm guessing it's not because I don't have any alternate heads that look like this. So, I don't know. He didn't send that. So I can't show you that, but I already showed you the alternate head. There is a bat. With, what's that called? Barbed wire. Okay, there you go. And then we have a Glock. Maybe a 19? Not a Glock guy, don't know for sure. There is a hole in the front, what she said. Don't know what that's for. Maybe there will be blast effects, or maybe they just received the Marvel Legends ones. I don't know. Looks pretty well detailed for not being licensed. I'm guessing that's probably as detailed as you want to go. And then we do have... I'm guessing it's not licensed anyway. There's no point. You do have the alternate hands for holding the weapon. There's the peg. Don't know if it's straight for being a prototype or straight because they're easier to swap out, but it is a straight peg. Alright, and obviously it only has the horizontal hinges. One of the things he mentioned to me that he plans to change, or that he wishes he could change, or I don't know what the exact situation is. I can tell you what he said exactly. Horizontal hinges or weapon hand. So I don't know if that means he's changing that for the Kickstarter or at some point down the line, or what the situation is on that. He said these are his gripes as of right now, so that may change. Don't know. So horizontal hinges for the weapon hands is number 1. Number 2, we'll talk about when we get to the articulation, and same thing for number 3. So let's go ahead and do the articulation. I'm guessing there will be more information about like which accessories come with which figures and whatever. Like that's definitely the case. So this is, I'm guessing, just a sampling to give you guys an idea. So articulation wise, just going to show you what's there, show you the maximum range, that kind of thing. Again, it's very early. Some things will probably change. Definitely tolerances, because we have metal pins and junk in here. It's a prototype. That's how that works. So things like that, like I said, no point for me to review, but I'll show you what we have going on. So it is just a ball peg. At the top, it's basically your Marvel Legends articulation. That's looking up. That's looking down. That's the maximum range. And then, of course, side to side, there is no lean, but there's a little wiggle on the ball. But based on the way these look, I'm guessing personally that that's going to change some. I can't say for sure, of course, because like right now this is loose. So who knows how the ball is going to actually work out. He did say he was looking, or one of the gripes was the thinner neck to get more range. So that's something, but that's what you have so far is the ball peg. As of right now, it's just a swivel really on top of that hinge with that amount of range. All right, for the shoulders, We have the butterfly joint that goes back that far. It's not the pin that's catching. That's where it would bump just about anyway, so you get that much range. I have to hold it together. By the way, if it looks like I'm handling it funny, like I said, prototype, the shell, the clamshell body is not connected, so I'm having to hold it together. So I'm doing the best I can. If you don't like how much my hands are in the way, you're gonna have to live with it. All right, so going forward, that is the maximum range going forward and back right there. Let's rotate the arm forward to see. That's where you're gonna get the arm. And then going back. I don't know a good way to demonstrate that. Well, you can see it. That's how far it goes back, okay? All right, for the shoulder itself, is there play in that socket? No, doesn't feel like it. Feels like it's just the rotation, which you do get full rotation. And then the hinge. Looks like that's the maximum range right there. That butterfly. Okay, bicep swivel. It does go all the way around. I have to hold it right now, though, in order to make it go. Okay. All right, and then presumably these are actually going to be pinless joints. I'm guessing that's why they have it this way, because they're not going to do insert molding on a prototype, so they have the metal pins to hold it together. So it should be pinless joints. That's what it looks like. That's what it seems like it's going to be. Range on the elbow. Depending on which joint you move first, that's pretty much 50-50 right there. You get plenty of range, obviously, so it's just an elbow joint. Not a whole lot to talk about there, but there's your elbow joint. All right, and then wrists. We already talked about wrists, but they rotate and they have a hinge. We don't know if that's going to change on the gripping hands. For the torso, get this straightened out. For the torso, is it a double? It almost feels like a double, but it might just be a single. I can't say for sure. I'm guessing it's a double. I don't know. Since the tolerances aren't set and things are loose and whatnot, it's hard for me to say if it's just flexing or if it's a single joint. It almost feels like it's a single, but there's the range going back. And forward. And side to side. And rotation. Technically you can lean and rotate, obviously, but you don't want to do that. That's not how people work. All right, for the upside down ab crunch. And then going forward. This is such a weird thing. Since it's not like a true review, I'm not saying a lot. It's very strange for me. I want to be talking a ton, but I can't. All right, and then I don't know what's going on here. I know this part pops off, and like they have interchangeable parts. I'm not going to do that. I believe it's. I guess I could do it. He said I could do it. Okay, I'm not going to do it. I pulled it, didn't go. He showed me in a video, but I don't want to risk breaking it. But there's the rotation that you get out of the lower torso. It does have some play, so it does have some kind of ball peg in there. Couldn't quite tell in his video that he sent me, but that's what you get out of that lower torso. For the hips, I don't know exactly what part of this is due to the design or due to being a prototype. There is a little bit of this though, so whatever joint that's in there, I think it's just a barbell running through the groin. So it's a ball socket in either hip. I'll show you that. That is one piece going through the groin, which is, I believe that's how Hasbro's doing them now. I'm losing my mind. I haven't looked at a Hasbro hip in forever inside it, but I think that's how they're doing it. So similar to the Legends in the hip region going forward. That's the range going all the way forward. Going back. Thigh swivel. I couldn't get the thighs to swivel comfortably, so I don't want to risk messing anything up. I don't know how important this prototype is to him. I'm guessing it's pretty important, and I don't want to risk messing it up. So there's some sort of thigh swivel in there, and based on thigh swivels, it's probably going to be a thigh swivel, but I don't want to risk doing it too hard. That's what she said. Okay, as far as the knees go, there's your range. Proportioning. Look from the front. There you go. And then for the ankles, it's hard to see. There is a ball hinge in there. At least I think there is. Let me see. I think there is. It goes back that far. Get this foot out of the way. Goes back that far. Goes forward that far. Yeah, there is a ball hinge in there. Ankle rocker goes that far. And the toe hinge, which is the last thing. Did I mention all the things? Yeah, the wrist, the neck, and then the toe hinge. He said he wanted to take a look at the toe hinge. What did he say? I'll just tell you what he said again. Clean up the toe joints is what he said. So I don't know what exactly that means, obviously, because it's not me, but clean up the toe joints. So there's placement and range. Right now they're loose as prototypes, but that's what it looks like. And the range and placement. Okay, so like I said in the beginning, this is a very weird sort of thing. It's clearly a very prototypey prototype. Lots of metal pins and whatnot, so it's hard for me to say much more than to just show you exactly what's here. You can do with that information what you will. That should serve everybody, because he's going to have his whole Kickstarter thing going on to give you any extra information that he can, I'm sure. His own videos, all that kind of stuff. And things will change, definitely, because like I said, it's still an early prototype, so I can't say any more than I already have, which was a strange video for me to make, but happy to do it, because like I said, the more indie companies, the better. And that is fine by me. So one last time, you can look at this. If you want to do that, I'll bring it closer to the camera. And I'll have the links down in the thing below. And let me see if there's anything else he asked me to say to you guys. Okay, yeah, so he did say earlier in the conversation that he does want to make those changes. And I don't know if they're for sure or not for sure, but those three things that I mentioned are things that he mentioned and is aware of in some capacity. So there it is, guys. That's the Street Humans prototype from Shartimus Prime, and some lack of thoughts from me on it directly, but at least you got to see what it was. And there it is. Go back it if you want to. If you don't want to, well, hey, that's on you, but you've got all the information now. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you probably should. I have new videos almost every single day, and thousands already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.